guys and gals, and welcome to what is today, the 5th? 5th of January 2026 already. New Year's underway. Good morning, Santee. Good morning, TJ. Good morning, Tony. Hope you guys are all doing well this morning and enjoying the new year. Hope you all are having some success, a little bit of wealth, a little bit of wisdom. I'm shooting for the whole thing this year. A little bit of wealth, a little bit of wisdom, a lot of bit of success in our ventures. The year's not exactly, you know, well, for us, set aside heightening gas prices and food prices and potential war. Yeah, but we're going to talk about the good stuff. Piss on the bad stuff. You can't change it. Why stress it? Oh, what do we got going on here? I am good. Thanks, and yourself. Good morning, zombie. Hope you're doing good, buddy. Let me see here what TJ got to say. I'm still doing. I'm still doing work on a couple songs yesterday and and waiting 2 more days for a big package. I'm sure that Brenna will enjoy your big package. I always thought there was something about you. Like I said, I hope everybody is enjoying the new year. For those of you that had to go back to work today, I'm sorry. I had to deal with the same thing with the daughter. She was running around the house. We were enjoying each other's company yesterday. She was playing her game. I was watching some movies I've been wanting to watch that I know the wife wouldn't be interested in. It's what my days are for, I guess. And, all of a sudden the daughter comes in and says, I got to get in the bathtub. I have school tomorrow. I'm like, ooh, yuck. So, I mean, she had 2 weeks off for Christmas and New Year's. Tried to force herself to go to bed early again last night after 2 weeks of not having to go to bed early. That was fun. I think she was. I think she was still awake when I woke up at little after 2 this morning. So there's a lot of noise coming out of that room for someone to be sleeping. Let's see here. Blah, 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 blah. Um, I'm trying to learn finger picking, but I wrote it's a package from Blockade Runner. Kids go back to school tomorrow. Now I gotta scoot in here because there's new people showing up. Hey, Justin, good to see you, bud. Back to school. Oh, yep. Holidays are over with. New Year's is over with. Guys, we don't got to worry about any more presents until February 14th. Well, I do because the wife's birthday's in 10 days. So, I got to make I got to make her crossing over into um, getting older as pleasant as possible. She's already starting to find those gray hairs, but um, living with me and having a 17-year-old in the house, and yeah, that'll make anybody turn gray. You don't believe it? Just look. Living with me and having a 17-year-old in the house. Oh, let me see here. That, that's zombie right there. Um, Heading to Georgia for a few weeks. Was offered route last night. Very cool. My daughter turns 10 Wednesday. Just wait. It's coming. Cold up there. I imagine everyone will get gray. Everyone will get gray hair with you, Drew. Yeah. Well, Zombie, I'm glad that you were offered uh, a route in a little bit warmer place. It's gonna get slightly warm, I guess, sometime in the next week or so, and then we have the Clippers coming down out of Canada again. So yeah, they're talking about warmer weather all over the place for a couple days, and then all of a sudden back to winter again. But that's what January is good for. I personally cannot believe uh, some of these up and downs this year. I was watching somebody early yesterday morning, I think it was, and they are in Florida. And we're talking about the fact that it was in the 30s in Florida at that time. They were wearing a hoodie. They were about ready to keel over. So, yeah, I'm thinking the 30s. Hell, we're still going outside in t-shirts at that time or at that temp. So, oh, let me see here. Back down again. I'm 39 and I've got gray hair. Drew. I'm 64. Don't look to have gray hair. there a few, but my beard is white if I let it grow. 33 degrees here. Supposed to be in the 50s all week. My family has flu bug. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Hey, Skipper. Long time no see. Hope you're doing good. Good morning, Mr. Dog. Good to see you as well. Well, if I do this and, look through that crack between my fingers, knock out all the extra light, I'm, where's where's that night vision? Is that it? Is that, no. Oh, there's my night vision. Nope, don't work. The night vision lens is on the wrong side, and I can't put it on upside down. So, nope, that ain't gonna work. Maybe with a little adapting. Hope you guys are all doing good in the new year so far. Like I said, I didn't just do my little resolution thing on New Year's. I done one for all of us. I prayed that we'd find a little bit of wealth, a lot of bit of wisdom, and a lot of bit of success for 2026. So we will definitely see what happens, and if some higher power is listening to my wishes, which I doubt. But hey, doesn't hurt to wish. Oh, let me see here. Yo head. Not much going on around here. It is, um, well, hell, what is it here? 28 degrees right now. We're supposed to get up real close to 32 today. I think they said 31 for a high. We'll just have to wait and see what happens. I have no clue what this weather's going to do. You've got one person talking about the potential for snow uh, later this week following another little warm patch. You've got one talking about a warm patch hitting Illinois and the lower half of Indiana and then moving southeast, um, lower part of Ohio, Kentucky, part of Tennessee. I got no clue what it's going to do. I'm not a meteorologist. I figure paying to go to school to become a meteorologist, I would make just as much money if I didn't pay anything, go to school, and became a politician. So, but too honest to do either one. So we'll just sit back and guess right along with everybody else what the hell's going on. Um, okay, good. Nothing to read. So, what do you guys think about all this poopy caca with Venezuela? It's kind of scaring me because I got no clue which news source to listen to. I sat here yesterday and every single news source was reporting on this attack on Venezuela, the fact that they have got 1 million soldiers standing at ready right now. They have got uh, surface to surface missiles, not only pointed at America, but also surface to air missiles trained on their skies. And the latest report last night was talking about the Chinese naval fleet on its way to international waters just off of Venezuela to guard the waters. So, absolutely no clue. Um, Let me see here. What the hell's that? Ding, ding. Sorry, had stuff pop up on the screen, and if anybody has said anything, I'm sorry. Um, Something popped up on the screen here. I saw a comment pop up on here, off to the left, but nothing new popped up on here. So if anybody just within the last couple minutes typed anything out, I apologize. It's not there. That comment from Dog about Yo Yo Head is the last thing I'm showing. So, um, well, there's a whole bunch of stuff there. I don't listen to the news at all, so honestly, I'm clueless. They have oil. It's not the first time it's been done. Remember, they got Manuel Noriega. Yep, I remember. If you follow Venezuela politics, you know that the election was fixed. Oh yeah. Believe me, I know. I've been hearing all about it. Uh, I don't know. Like I said, we'll see what happens. Most Venezuelans are tickled pink. He's out of power. Oh, there's somebody else that just popped up. Let me get in here where I can read. Hey, Ben, good to see you. Gotta run the wifey to work. You too, Santee. Have a good day, my friend. We'll talk at you later. I don't do they really us want play war with the United States? Adventures with Beth. Hey, Beth. Good to see you, love. Hope you're doing good. I'm really for one of Poppy Drew's pizzas. All you gotta do is come to America. I mean, I understand it's summertime in Australia right now, so nobody really wants to leave. But hell, what can you do? Until Drew gets his eye fixed, I don't think I'm going to be doing very much cooking. Honestly, I could still do it. I made a big old pot of ham and beans the other day and cornbread um, for the wife and daughter. Well, more so for the wife because the daughter won't eat beans, but she ate that cornbread. The insurance people are going to be back in the office today, so as soon as we get done here, I'll be calling insurance and getting everything taken care of so I'll have insurance again and can go and get my medicine again and get my eyes checked. So hopefully here super duper soon I can get my eyes worked on. Um, I want to leave. It's too bloody hot. I'll switch with you, Ben. Um, Done deal. Oh, well, Beth, I know you've been gone for a while. Cataracts. At least we think it's cataracts. I mean, it could be diabetic retinopathy, which without having a doctor to check it out. But, since I saw you last, my state insurance was all canceled. So my diabetes and the blood clots and everything else is going untreated for the last 2.5 years. So I mean, it could be diabetic retinopathy, it could be cataracts. Um, to the person going through it, they work about the same way. Um, Eyes just slowly start to blur, and you get a haze over them. Looks like a really, really bad foggy morning, um, any kind of bright lights and stuff, just headaches, nausea, equilibrium off. Um, I went to the hospital twice this past year over this eye, and they kept saying, "Well, you need to go to a doctor. You need to go to a doctor." And it's like I don't have $600 to go to an eye doctor to go through an eye test and to get anything corrective done. So if you want to pay for it out of your pocket, I'm fine with that. I'm fine with that. And they didn't want to pay for it. So, um, you have 49 this day coming up, and I don't want a bowl of soon. Send me snow. It's so pleasant weather here for January. So far, it has been. I haven't been gone, just AWOL. Oops, didn't mean TL. It's okay. It made a good point. All caps like that. Haven't been gone, just AWOL. 29 Celsius here. Burr. Um, Done deal. 29 and bad depending on your location for January. My mate's mom just got her cataracts removed. Little blurry to start with, but apparently improves the eyesight. Yeah, that's what they say. I'm hoping. I'm in North Carolina. Too cold for here, and my furnace died. Oh, crap. Maybe we should, yeah, so he can see. There you go. I have worked outside in -17. January 5th before. Well, it was just here a few years ago here in Michigan, right after the new year. We had wind chills near -50. And, I was putting on the layers and going out and shoveling the old school teacher back over here across the street, shoveling out her car, doing her sidewalks, everything for her. Couldn't have her going out and, you know, not being able to get her car out and stuff, get stuck in the garage. Yeah, with caps, I actually do read faster. My trouble on this right here is more so when someone has a wrench and their name is in blue. It, for some reason, the blue fades into the black background um, worse than the white lettering does. But if I've got the light mode on the computer, the white glare just covers any black letters. So I have to go in dark mode. But yes, with caps, I can actually read uh, better and faster because the letters are almost double in size. Now, once I get the big 36-inch hooked back up to this computer or hooked up to this computer, my the comments are going to be about that big. So I should be able to read through the comments pretty fast. Um, done what to her? Minus 17 was not wind chill, but was actual. Can't see you, Tony. Oh. Um, in in a home with a wife and four daughters. Visibility is not new thing. How is the missus? Um, Working her butt off, freezing. Got a new vehicle. Well, new to her. Here a few months ago, and when cold weather hit, we realized that there's no heat in it. So she got one of those little heated seat things that plug into the cigarette lighter, and she keeps her backside warm going to work. But other than that, working like a Hebrew slave and being as happy as life lets you be. I'm with you on that, Tony. I've had to work cattle in those temps. It sucks. Um, Nor a bad one. Yeah, that below zero. She's brutal. Yeah, in Maine, I had to herd up cattle that got loose all the time. That sucks. And I know it's rough. Luckily, I don't have. The only thing I have to do is go outside and feed some homeless kitties in the morning time. And, well, when nobody else does it. I just got to go feed some homeless kitties and keep them watered so they survive the winter. And that's about the worst of my. So I mean, they're kind of like cattle. They're just smaller and want to cuddle more. I've never seen I've never seen a Holstein try to crawl inside your coat to keep warm. These little boogers, these little fluffy mothers will climb right up your leg and try to get inside your coat. They know. What sucks worse is they were on an icy hill. I must have looked like a clown. I've seen, I've been trying to talk Brenna into buying a farm so I can get back to farm life. That'd be nice. I'd like to see you guys outside of town on a farm somewhere. I have two kittens now, and they won't get under a blanket. You know, our inside kitties won't. You know, Ralphie and Little Junior. Um, they will not get under a blanket for very long. I mean, Ralph will, if he crawls up in bed with us early in the morning, he'll lay under the blanket for like 4 or 5 minutes, and then he wants to get up and run around or sleep on the pillow above your head. The outside kitties, they're smart. They, like I said, they'll try to climb up your leg and get inside your coat when you're outside, or when you go outside, they'll run in the house and they'll start crowding around all the vents. You'll have one or two of them crowded around the vent in the kitchen. You'll have one or two of them crowded around the vent in the living room. You'll have one or two of them around the vents in the two bathrooms. They're all about that warm air thing. They don't care about eating. They don't care about drinking. Now the really funny thing is when all three of them get in here, or well, four if you count Mama, which we hardly ever see her. But if she happens to get in too, all four of them will jump up on the bed and they'll crawl into the blanket. They know. They won't go like all the way to the foot of the bed. They'll only go like 4 or 5 inches. I mean, you can still see little heads sticking or tails sticking out when they crawl in the bed. But yeah, they like to crawl right up under the covers. They'll stay there. The kittens sleep on me. I don't blame them. I would too. I mean, um, yeah, Ralph will want to sleep on my back, or he'll sleep on the wife's side, or something like that. But when it comes to getting up under the covers, he like I said, 4 or 5 minutes, and he decides it's time to crawl up above your head. And then, of course, he'll lay there and he'll play with your eyebrow, or he likes to play with my beard since I started growing it back again. Junior's not about the bed thing. He'll get up there if you got something that smells good, and he'll take a bite or two, and then it's time to get down and go climb back up on the top of his tower and watch over the living room. If you have an old cooler, you could cut a cat-sized hole in that and place a bit of bedding inside. That's Chili. Our dog will get under the blanket, stay under there till she gets too hot. We actually have one of those styrofoam meat coolers out on the back deck that's got a blanket in it, and sometimes they'll sleep in there. Sometimes they go in the shed. Um, we have a big box, um, like the size of one of those college dorm refrigerators, and we cut a hole at the end and wrapped a blanket around it, and then taped plastic around it so it wouldn't get wet, and then put a blanket inside it. And a lot of times that's where they'll stay, or at least some of them will stay in there. Um, it's a little cozier than being in the shed, but they're shed kitties. They're outside kitties. They're not real big on being inside. I mean, like I said, they'll come in here when it's cold. I really honestly think that they get tired of seeing Ralph and Junior at the windows. Uh, if I know my kid, then Ralph probably sits there and mocks him. Na 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 na. I have endless food and water. I get table scraps. It's 72 degrees in here, not 12. Na na na. Because he'll pop up in the window looking at them. Then all of a sudden they're trying to climb the screens and everything else. I don't know what's going on. I'm not even going to try to understand. Oh, I need somebody that lives close to come and help me set up StreamYard. It's taken me over a month, but I finally managed to get StreamYard hooked up to the Paranormal Papa channel. Paranormal Papa Investigations, our paranormal channel. But we've only got, what, 80, 83 members over there right now. So I need to hit a certain point to be able to do our live Friday night interviews, to do the podcast live. Um, so, we need to get that channel built up, guys. We need to build that mother up, so I can start doing my live podcast over there and do the Friday night, interviews or live streams or whatever. So that is your mission, if you choose to accept it, is start sharing out Paranormal Papa Investigations, and let's get that damn channel built up. Because here, as soon as the weather breaks in Michigan, we're going to start doing new investigations. As a matter of fact, I've already been contacted twice in the last week and a half to do investigations at people's homes. So just as quick as the weather breaks, and Mark can get time set aside from his correctional officer with the sheriff's department, and get time off, we're going to get these investigations fired back up. And something tells me from the stories I'm hearing thus far from these people, these are going to be good. Um, if you, oh wait, no, if are, oh nope, here. Probably looking for live in live-in caregiver. Looking for a live-in caregiver. Where is the link? You want me to try to type? All you got to do is just type in paranormal papa investigations and you'll go straight to it. We're the only one out there. You know, you can't you can't miss a channel uh, photo with this mug on it. I mean, it's the same one for both channels. Um, no mods on the new channel yet. Like I said, we haven't got enough members over there to um, do the live streams yet. I'm trying to get everything set up. I hate doing pre-recorded podcasts on Friday night. There are too many people out here on the platform and over on Facebook and over on Instagram that I want to do live interviews with. So that's my immediate goal. Of course, we're still running with the goal of getting Paranormal Papa podcasts or Paranormal Papa investigations on one of the streaming channels, whether it be Travel Channel, Discovery Channel. I want to do things backwards from what a lot of the paranormal investigators are doing. A lot of them started off with TV programs, and then when their TV programs fell under, they started doing videos and investigations on a YouTube channel or Facebook or Instagram or whatever. Um, Not to mention, you guys know I am not super big on this having music stars or TV stars or movie stars coming in as guest investigators. I, I want to maintain the fact that we are a YouTube channel and we only have YouTube guest investigators and not these people with 500,000 subscribers or a million subscribers. I want people like, those dweebs, What Goes Bump in the Night, uh, Tommy Tombstone, Randy's Real Paranormal, The Hauntus, Heather. I want to focus and bring attention to YouTube based paranormal teams. You have mods. Um, I found it on my. I've been investigating more. That's good. I discovered traveling. No. I discovered Timeline Media is doing a live stream of their documentary, World War II in color. Oh, that's cool. Been running a live stream for like 6 months continuously. Good morning, Stephen. Good to see you, bud. Hope you're doing good. Huh? Wife took off for work, didn't say bye. And she must have pulled out the other end of the drive into the alley because she didn't come by the window. Oh, goodness gracious sakes, man. I hate the summertime because I hate being all wet and sweaty and stuff like that. But I honestly think the older I get, the more I prefer summer over winter. Used to love the winter. Like to put on multiple layers, go out and find things to do. Of course, I grew up in the country, so summer or winter, I was out walking the woods, I was walking the fields. We'd go bunny hunting, we'd go deer hunting, yeah, whatever, whatever. And the older I get, the more I think I prefer the summertime. It just gets too chilly and achy and everything, especially with the neuropathy and stuff in my feet. They're always chilled and numb, and wintertime just sucks because I've got on like a regular pair of socks, I got on a pair of hunting socks, and I got on a pair of fur lined house slippers walking around the house. Plus, I got that nutty wife that has to have the window open and the fan on for those obvious middle aged reasons. Um, so, where she is much hotter and needs to be cooled down, I'm colder and need to put on multiple layers. Hell, I was in the bedroom last night watching TV with her after we ate dinner, and I had on um, a long sleeve shirt, I had on a hoodie, and I had on my sweater, and had my hood pulled up, and had my stocking cap on, and my feet and my legs and any exposed skin was still cold because that nutty chick had that damn fan on. She's comfortable. I'm getting pneumonia. The kid comes in the room, says hi to her mom, hangs out for a few minutes, and she runs straight back into her bedroom and closes the door and opens up her heater vent all the way and wraps herself up in two blankets. I like being cold like the kid. All right, back in here. Same here. Neuropathy sucks. I have it in 3 appendages. You know, it's funny that you say that because I have it in both feet and pretty much everything from the knees down on both legs. And then, well, it's real bad in these 4 fingers and a little bit in the thumb. This hand here is still good. Thank God I'm right handed. So, but yeah, I guess I have it in my, about right here is where it begins. And because this is all, I don't really spend much time thinking about it because the wife don't like to hear about it. She's one of those people uh, that feels that it's all up to you how much you hurt. I keep telling her, just wait. You'll be 46 on the 15th of January, and I'll be 58 um, the 8th of October. So when you catch up with me, you'll know how I feel. Um, is that medieval helmet next to you? Out of metal or copper? Um, my right arm and hand are the only places I don't have it. Dang, I feel old. I just turned 64 in October. You're only as old as you feel. I mean, you know, if I had medicine, I would probably feel a lot better. Uh, but I don't, and that's probably one of the things, you know, that I'm really looking forward to getting that insurance later today. Um, the helmet, Stephen, it is metal, and it's very well put together. That was given to me um, on Halloween, this past Halloween. Uh, I I had on my Viking outfit that I wear when I do security for the Ren Fair every May, and we went to a friend of ours' place to do his haunted woods walk. And he told me, he goes, "Here, you're missing this. You need this." And he took me up to the house and brought it out to me and told me to keep it. He said it's too big and it's too heavy for him to wear, which, I mean, the dude's, you know, 5'11", but he only probably weighs 120 pounds. So, you know, that's my newest piece. You know, I mean, besides my Viking sacks, that is a nice piece of forged steel right there. I can't wait to I can't wait to slice my bacon on my table at the Ren Fair with that thing in May. You know, I'm not going to go out and buy sliced bacon. I'm going to buy a big a big solid piece of bacon and just cut my bacon off. I go through 3 pounds of bacon at my events, smoking it, making bacon jerky out of it first thing in the morning, and then just living off the bacon all weekend. So I'm gonna have a lot of fun with that sax. Let me see here. Depends on how much pain it is. Women will never know the pain of getting your nuts racked. Men will never know the pain of giving birth. My wife did it 4 times. How bad can it be? Imagine being split in half slowly. There you go. You know, all joking aside, no, not all joking aside. Um, I never understood, and maybe having women in the chat, they can help me to understand this. I've had women tell me that giving childbirth is like being kicked in your sack repeatedly over and over and over. I mean, a good kick can drop you to your knees and make you want to vomit. But, being kicked in the nuts over and over and over and over and over and over and over for like an hour and a half. They compare that to childbirth. Now, if that's the case, if being kicked like that over and over and over and over and over and over and over for an hour is like childbirth, I have never heard a man go through that and then 2 or 3 years later say, gee, honey, I'd like to go through that again. But I have heard a lot of women go through childbirth and then 2 or 3 years later say, gee, honey, I'd like to do that again. If the two things are comparable, then that just proves to me that women are a lot stronger than most men are and can handle pain a lot better. Carol Burnett said that the only way to make a man understand how much childbirth hurts is to take his bottom lip and pull it up over his head. I can't conceive that pain, but I can conceive being kicked into gozies over and over and over and over and over and over and over again for an hour. I can, I can, I can, I can feel that pain. Huh. Yes, that is my Viking horn notification alarm that you're hearing. All right, back into the chat here. imagine the point. It's a pain you forget. You do not forget getting kicked in the nuts when you're ready to give birth again. The memories come back. Our eye is on the prize. That's why men feel it when they see another dude get kicked in the nuts. That is true. That is true. We feel it when another woman is giving birth. Wow. You know what's really sad is when I have seen a woman giving birth, it made my parts hurt. You know, whether it was my woman or not. Um, Here, oh God, what, 5, 6, 7 years ago, um, the wife's best friend um, had her little boy. And um, the dad, of course, when he found out she was pregnant, he up and left. And she wanted it filmed. And, you know, I had the esteemed pleasure of filming her birth as the wife, you know, stood up there beside her and stroked her hair and held her hand and stuff. That was the very first natural childbirth that I ever experienced. I had only experienced cesarean sections up until that point in my life. And let's just say that I have a much higher level of respect for women after that experience. That was one of the most frightening things I ever saw in my life. And yeah, I have a much higher level of respect for women because that made me hurt. Um, thank God. I mean, I was looking at it, you know, where's that thingy at? There it is. Yeah. I was doing this. It was much smaller and not quite as scary um, looking through that. But at the same time, it was really frightening. But it was beautiful at the same time. Um, yeah, they never say sorry for the suffering. It is always, oh, it is so wonderful. It is so wonderful, a miracle, etc., etc. It's a built in defense I've experienced both. I ain't saying it don't hurt. I am quite sure it does. Even the meekest woman will be cussing when in labor. That should tell you something. My Mrs. gave birth to daughter. For 8.5 months after number 3, and she was on time, and the wife instigated the duration session. My two oldest are 10 months apart, 9 days after the third daughter's birth. That's because, Tony, you, my friend, are a stud. And she could not live without it. Ruff. I need to get a microwave in here so when I talk too long and my coffee gets cold, I can warm it back up. Mm. Mm. Oh. Well, if that don't make you go blind, nothing will. I bet her doctor wasn't happy about that. You're supposed to wait 6 weeks. I don't know what the doc mentioned anything about it. Yes, and I was figuring to do the 6 weeks of dry spell. My goodness gracious, some of the things we talk about on here. She could have gotten really hurt at saying just nature. It is the difference in nursing and not. Man, we get on some weird subjects in this place. There's fishing. How you doing, buddy? Hope you're holding up well. Haven't heard from you for a few days, so hope you're holding up well. I don't know. There is a topic I won't comment on. Oh, yes, and we should have a hell of a party this July. Let's take over the planet, the United States of the Earth. Yes, sir. 250 years, which was the whole purpose behind the double ball thing, or the changing of the collars. Celebrating our 250th year as a country. I mean, you want to impress me, drop the ball in Massachusetts, or not New Amsterdam. I mean, New York. I see on the YouTube that half of Canada wants to join us. Which is really funny because everything that I have seen uh, basically says Canada's ready for war. They have got a citizen army joining in with their regular military, and they are waiting for America to invade. Our own governor was there the week of Christmas and told them the Michigan was part of Canada before the U.S., and we will proudly be part of Canada again if the U.S. Um, decides to invade. So I don't want them. Let them be their own country. That's the way I look at it. So, who knows? Sometime in the next 3 years, I might be a Canadian citizen. There might be like a little oak leaf or a um, little red leaf down here in the corner of the screen or something. I mean, who knows? Their military is a canoe and two kites. I think Mexico and Cuba are next. Yeah, maple leaf. That's what I was trying to say. A canoe and two kites. I don't know what to expect. Frankly, every single morning when I get up and I come in here and I turn on the computer and I pull up ABC, CBS, NBC, CNN, PBS, it don't matter. It don't matter. Nothing surprises me anymore. Quite honestly, nothing surprises me anymore. Mexico makes sense in a way. Not sure what Cuba has to offer. Cartels. I mean, all this shenanigans going on with Venezuela right now is over cartels. You know, I hear about what was it about a month ago when the U.S. military hit that small private boat leaving Venezuelan waters, heading towards Florida, and they hit him and blew it up, and then hit it a second time instead of rescuing the people, which has always been standard practice. They hit him with another missile. So I kind of figured there was going to be issues there, but that is the answer for getting rid of drugs in America is just blow it up. So um, yeah, I have no idea where our future's heading at, but it is an uncertain, blind, and at times frightening possibility of a future. The United States could stand against the entire world. I refuse to comment based on the fact that the answers or response that I give to that um, might be uh, wrongfully received. 10 years down the road, I'm not so sure. Well, and I used to be the one to say that as spread out as our military is around the world in different locations, you know, if our country was ever attacked, we wouldn't have enough soldiers here to properly defend us. And um, here of late, I'm starting to feel that way again. Like, we're in the Middle East, uh, um, we're in South America or Central America, South America. We're spread everywhere. So that that kind of uneases me just a little bit. Uh, but I don't know. We'll just have to see what happens. We're all adults with common sense, I think. National Guard is here until more can get here. Are you kidding? The civilian population is the most in the world. Civilian population is the most. 35 million. And that's a good point too. That's a very good point too. But don't forget, the government has done away with that armed and ready militia thing. So where do you go from that point? They don't want citizen soldiers, militia, um, operating in this country. So that kind of outlaws the whole uh, standing up and fighting thing. Yeah, I know it's supposed to be constitutional. Believe me, I know. But do you remember here a few years ago we had what, three different militia groups up in northern Michigan, and the federal forces and the military hit all three of them and put them out of business. So yeah, a lot of people were saying at that point in time that those militias are constitutionally protected. And the government said, oh, no, they're not. So, once again, what do you do? What do? You break the law and stand up for your country, or do you become cattle and just get herded by whoever owns the farm? Also true protection from our government. Someone forgot to tell Texas. Well, a lot of so-called militias are criminal organizations. Yes, very true. I never followed politics as closely as I have recently. And I don't like to talk about politics. Um, I like a group of friends to be able to sit together and enjoy each other's company. And 9 out of 10 times, when you bring up politics, so many individuals have got different views, beliefs, understandings, everything of their own opinion on politics, that there always winds up being an argument. I have a friend who is such a believer in our government the way it is now that you can't bring up anything negative government. You can't bring up the stuff that's being covered on the news. You can't even bring up the stuff that he says in his own speeches because it's rhetoric. It's not real. It's been altered. It's been whatever. So I just don't talk about it. I refuse to. I will not lose a friend over an opinion. It's not that important to me. I will sit there and be a mute dummy and just not talk about it at all. It is difficult to follow politics as most of it is just fucking lies. I know. And see, my big thing is I don't really follow politics as much as I follow just what's happening in the world. You know, what are we involved in? Where are we going? What's happening? I don't follow the people as much as I follow the action. If you follow the news, you follow politics. Hey, David. Good to see you, bud. Hope you're doing well. Oh, goodness gracious sakes. This day just feels like it's been so long so far. I'm doing better than I was. Good. I'm glad you're doing better. New Year is off and underway. What'd that say? What are we up to already? Ooh, we're up to 28. Haven't seen you in a long time. Well, many haven't seen me either. Yeah, I've been busy with stuff and staying out of the drama. I always try to stay out of the drama. Life is too short to always be stressed out. I'm interpreting, interpreting today. I am thinking about pulling out my uh, for a light cleaning and figuring out how many I actually have. You know, it gets pretty bad when you've got so many of them cute little pew pews laying around that you have lost count on how many you have. That's actually funny. Kind of sounds like the old man when they were up here for Thanksgiving. I asked him where his chrome six shooter and his Mexican holster were. He says, I think I got rid of them, but I'm not sure. I'll have to check when I get back down home. It's like you've been lugging that holster and stuff around since 1966, and you don't even remember if you have it or. No, no, I don't. No, no. Got rid of the 10 gauge. I know that. Got rid of the 30-06. Got rid of the 30-30 lever. Because I don't know what I got still. It's like, well, if you didn't keep them in every gun cabinet and closet and under every bed and under the couch and everything else, then you might be able to keep track of them. I have a Red Ryder. You'll put your eye out. I have a slingshot somewhere. Well, I have six 44 Magnums, two 30-06, but that is all I know for sure. Well, I live there, and somewhere north of 50,000 rounds of assorted ammo. See, that works. It's always good to be protected. And to never quite know when you're going to need them. I told the wife this morning when she got up, I said, what woke me up? She asked me what I got out of bed a little after 2 for. I told her at 1:48 this morning, I heard a boom that was so loud it shook the house. And I jumped up, grabbed my little pew pew, ran to both doors, opened them up, looked, went out on the back deck, looked, thought for sure somebody's house blew up. Didn't find anything, relocked the doors, laid down, couldn't go back to sleep. But I told her, I said, I feel sorry for anyone who breaks in this house because they're going to be expected to, at the absolute worst, meet a homeowner with a weapon, with a pew pew kind of weapon. I don't think uh, they're going to be expecting this to come flying out of the darkness. I really honestly don't. I feel sorry for them. I really honest, especially since it took forever to work that head loose. So now I am looking for a hickory handle about uh, that much longer, if not longer than that, to compensate for the weight of that steel. I'm definitely looking for a hickory handle about minimum 4 feet long, possibly five if I can find one. So if anybody knows where there's nice round hickory handles um, that are bigger than a 3-inch diameter, that way I can whittle the top down to fit in that head nice and tight. I can use one of those handles. Um, 40 pounds of gunpowder, 50, and I have to have powder magazine. Tony is his own militia. I can shoot metal. Yeah. Word honor. Four grandkids. I swear we have a little earthquake this morning. The sound was inside my apartment and echoing down the ridgeline. Huh, that's scary. There's been some weird earthquake activity in this world. You might look for Osage orange. I might. It just depends. My dad and cousins pack. I could use gas. A gas wood splitter. I forgot where you are, David. Looking at the earthquake map. I have 8 handguns laying on my desk. Here. Yep, you are definitely a militia under yourself, sir. But 244 mag, 2.9 millimeter, 422 long rifle. Yeah, you're a very well organized uh, person, Mr. York. It's like I've told you before. This world goes to pot, and we're heading to your place. But I'll make sure that my eye's fixed first. That way, I can be of some use. I may have to learn how to shoot using my left eye, but it, better than handing a gun to a blind guy and saying, "Do it." unless you hand me two of them and just turn me into a howitzer. You know, you stand behind me and do this, and I'll just keep firing. Be told I am relatively disorganized. Well, yes. Earthquake activity is pretty quiet so far today. Well, that's good because there have been some weird ones here the last few months. Somebody, was it Missouri? Iowa? Here a few months ago, they felt some shaking in the morning. And, you know, the scientists say that the New Madrid fault is well overdue for another large earthquake. Um, I feel for the country that one goes off. I mean, the last time it went off, it made the Mississippi River flow backwards. And it was terrible. So I feel for the central U.S. if the New Madrid quakes up again. It caused some terrible flooding, done a lot of damage. I don't shoot as much as I should. My cabin is 60 miles from that fault. New Madrid is our most active zone. I check earthquake activity in tri-state area and nothing was reported yet. It made building sort of creak and pop when I heard that sound. Yeah, New Madrid. I'm always, I mean, every day, whenever I hear earthquake, 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 I want to check uh, the New Madrid readouts and stuff like that, just to see if there's any intermittent activity, any light vibration, anything like that. Um, like I said, when it went off the last time, it made the Mississippi flow backwards. And that is an awful powerful river to be turned around and flow north instead of south. from New York all the way up through Connecticut. David, you're haunted. New Madrid is fairly active. Yeah, I know. I'm haunted. Um, but the lava lamp stays quiet most of the time. I watched a recap of Simpsons with their predictions, and they name dates and places. This time, earthquakes are there for both coasts. We have had some homes damaged from here from activities there. Huh. See, I didn't realize that. I don't see the. I don't see just like a daily report. If I don't hear about an activity somewhere, I don't bother checking it. Maybe I should check it on a regular basis just to see. Because, like I said, scientists say we're about 100 years or so. Um, no, 100. They said we're 50 years overdue for another major shaking on New Madrid. So we'll see what happens. The world is acting awful weird lately. One of these days, I might have to try to make it out to David's place and investigate his apartment. I'd like to do that, man. I'd like to get to that point where, I can freely travel. I had a friend who just last week needed some help with some stuff. And sadly enough, I couldn't make the 850-mile trip to help him. And it made me feel bad because he needed my help. But there was nothing I could do to help. And, I would like to get to that point where, I can do that if someone needs me. I can be right there. Oh, we're due. I felt a shake in Belleville one time while I was in there from car wreck. I felt quakes in Massachusetts and North Carolina. Um, live in New Madrid and far amount of my life. I don't know. I don't know. But all right, guys and gals, it is that time. It is time for me to be like a fat baby and head out. Time for me to be like, I don't even know why I said that, man, after our conversation earlier. I don't want to think about babies' heads anywhere. But I'm going to head out of here for now. We made it through our first dream of 2026. So hopefully the next 51 go just as well. But I will be back next Monday morning, same fat time, same fat station, and we'll do it all over again. So until then, take care of yourselves, take care of each other. God bless you. God love you. I do. We'll catch y'all later.